We helped Earth when nobody else wanted to. Only later did we understand how humans show their G. Lucas Hayes looked up at the sky and felt a small knot in his stomach. The sun had just set, leaving the city in shades of orange and gray, and the first stars were beginning to shine. He had spent the last 6 months tracking an unusual object in space, something moving fast and far from anything the Earth had ever seen. The calculations were not perfect, but the signs were clear. If nothing was done, it could hit Earth in less than a year. He felt the weight of the world pressing on his shoulders, and he was not sure he could carry it alone. He walked into the small laboratory that doubled as his office. Maps of Earth's orbit, asteroid charts, and notes covered every wall. He rubbed his eyes and sighed. "We need help," he muttered to himself. His assistant, a young engineer named Mia Carter, looked up from her computer. "Lucas, you know nobody will listen," she said softly. "Other countries don't have the tech, and even if we ask the coalition, they won't care about Earth." "I know," Lucas said, "but we have to try." "We can't just wait," Mia bit her lip. She knew he was right, but the truth was heavy. The coalition of alien civilizations had been watching Earth for decades. Some were curious. Others thought humans were weak, messy, and unimportant. Lucas had seen their reports. In every record, humans were described as chaotic, emotional, and unpredictable. And that was exactly why no one wanted to help. A sudden alert on the main screen caught their attention. The object had moved closer. The numbers were alarming. Lucas felt his heart race. "It's getting faster," he whispered. "We don't have much time." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, a scout ship glided through space. The vessel was sleek and gray, moving with silent grace. Inside, Vorel, the leader of the alien team, watched the readings on his screen. "Another planet," said his second-in-command, a tall alien named Chiron. "It is primitive," Vorel frowned. "Earth, I have seen it before, nothing remarkable. Why does the coalition want us to observe it again?" Chiron shrugged. "Perhaps it will provide amusement or failure." Vorel did not answer. He had learned not to underestimate anything, even the weakest species. But he also believed humans would not survive without guidance. Their technology was rudimentary, their defenses poor, and their cooperation inconsistent. Still, orders were orders. Back on Earth, Lucas and Mia prepared a transmission. They did not have much time, and they had only a small communication device capable of sending a signal beyond the solar system. Lucas entered the coordinates, his fingers shaking slightly. "If anyone is listening," he said aloud, "please help us." He hesitated. This was not a normal call for help. They were asking beings who could destroy entire planets for mercy, for attention, for support. But he had no choice. He pressed the button and the device emitted a faint hum. A light flashed. Miles away in the alien ship, the light was detected. Vorel's eyes narrowed. "This is unusual," he said. "A signal from Earth. They are asking for help. Did I hear that correctly?" Chiron laughed softly. "They actually expect us to respond. How amusing. Do they think we care?" Vorel leaned forward, studying the signal. It was chaotic, simple, and strangely persistent. Something about it caught his attention. Humans were persistent. They did not stop. They did not hide. They asked and they hoped. "Set a course for Earth," he said quietly. Chiron froze. "Are you serious?" he asked. "They are primitive. They cannot possibly need this level of help." "Exactly," Vorel said. "That is why we go, observe them closely. Perhaps there is more to them than we see." The journey was long, even for a fast ship. Meanwhile, Lucas and Mia continued their preparations. Earth's governments refused to act. They called Lucas paranoid, a dreamer chasing impossible dangers. Even the scientists at the largest space agencies laughed at the idea that a massive asteroid could hit Earth and that humans could not stop it. Lucas felt frustrated, but he also felt a small spark of hope. Something told him they were not alone. Something told him help might arrive. He did not know what form it would take, but he refused to give up. The first alien ship entered Earth's orbit quietly. It did not send a message, did not announce itself. Lucas and Mia noticed only a sudden anomaly in their sensors. A strange, metallic shape hung in the sky, far larger than any human spacecraft. The air seemed to hold its breath. Lucas whispered, "Mia, they're here." Mia's eyes widened. "Are you sure?" Before Lucas could answer, a beam of light shot from the ship. It was not a weapon. It was a scanner, harmless but powerful. It probed the ground, the cities, the oceans, and even the people. The aliens wanted information. They were calculating. They were observing. Inside the alien ship, Voral studied the humans. They were small, fragile, and chaotic. Yet something about their activity impressed him. Even without advanced weapons, humans were organized when it mattered. They moved quickly, communicated clearly, and adapted to problems in real time. "This is strange," Chiron muttered. "They are surviving." Voral nodded slowly. "Yes, and more than that, they are trying, they are asking, they are not giving up. That is interesting." Back on Earth, Lucas and Mia were still struggling to prepare a defense. They worked night and day, building improvised equipment and running simulations. They had no alien-level technology, no massive starships, only human tools, human brains, and human hearts. Lucas looked at the device he had built to track the asteroid. It was crude, with wires exposed and panels patched together, yet it was functional. "We can do this," he said firmly. "We have to, we must." Mia smiled faintly. "I hope the aliens notice. I hope they help. I don't know if anyone else will." As the days passed, the alien ship remained in orbit. Voral watched humans from a distance, noting every movement. He saw their arguments, their mistakes, their frustrations. He also saw courage, determination, and ingenuity. Humans failed often, but they tried again and again. One evening, Lucas climbed to the roof of his building and looked at the stars. The alien ship floated silently above, like a gray shadow against the black sky. He felt a strange connection, not fear but hope. "Maybe they will help us," he whispered. "Maybe we are not alone after all." Suddenly, the alien ship sent a small message. It was simple, basic, but clear. "We are watching." Lucas's heart leapt. Mia grabbed his shoulder. "They know we exist," she said. "They're listening." Voral observed the humans responding to the message. They did not panic, they did not beg, they simply continued their work. That more than anything impressed him. Humans were persistent, focused, and clever. They did not wait for miracles, they created their own. Chiron looked at him. "Do you really think we should interfere?" he asked. Voral was quiet for a long moment. "Perhaps," he said finally. "Perhaps humans are worth noticing. Perhaps they are different." And so the first day of contact ended. No words of war, no threats, no grand proclamations. Just humans, small and fragile, working tirelessly to save their world. And aliens, watching carefully, beginning to understand that Earth was not as weak as it seemed. Lucas did not know it yet, but this was only the beginning. The real test would come when the asteroid drew closer, when every plan and every device would be challenged. But for the first time, he felt something he had not felt before: hope. Humans were not perfect. They made mistakes, argued constantly, and sometimes failed completely. But they never stopped trying. And the aliens, observing silently, could not help but notice. There was something in humans that no technology, no weapon, and no advanced civilization could easily measure. Something powerful, something strange, and something remarkable. The stars glimmered above, and the earth spun quietly below. In the small lab, Lucas and Mia prepared another simulation. Somewhere above, the alien ship waited, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, the galaxy began to take note of humans in a way it had never done before. The next days would bring questions, tension, and challenges unlike anything Earth had faced, but Lucas did not fear them. He knew humans had a gift the aliens could not yet understand, a gift that could change everything. And so, on that quiet night, as the wind blew through the city streets and the stars shone faintly above, humans and aliens stared at the same sky. each unaware that their fates were about to collide in ways no one could imagine. Lucas whispered to himself once more, looking at the stars. "We are ready. We will not fail." And somewhere above, Vorel said quietly, "Perhaps we have underestimated them all along." The next morning, Lucas Hayes woke before sunrise. He had barely slept. The alien ship was still in orbit, a silent gray shadow above the city. He knew the aliens were watching, noting every detail of Earth's defenses, every small machine and every human action. Lucas did not know if they would help. He only knew he had to keep trying. Mia Carter arrived at the lab carrying a stack of papers and a small coffee pot. "You look exhausted," she said, setting the papers down. "I am," Lucas admitted. "But we have to prepare. The asteroid is coming closer. The calculations say it will arrive sooner than we thought." Mia frowned. "We still don't have real support. The governments refuse to cooperate, and the coalition, I don't know if they even care." Lucas sat down at the table. "That's why we need to show them we can work. If they see humans actually trying, maybe they will intervene. Maybe they will help us." Outside the lab, the city was waking. Cars started moving, people hurried to work, and children walked to school. Life went on as if nothing was about to happen. But Lucas and Mia felt the weight of the approaching danger every second. Inside the alien ship, Vorel studied Earth's defenses again. He had observed humans for a full day now. They were disorganized, chaotic, and unpredictable, yet they were also inventive. They did not wait for instructions. They tried, failed, and tried again. Chiron, the second in command, looked annoyed. "They are still primitive. Why do you care?" Vorel did not answer immediately. He had been thinking. Humans were strange. They were small, fragile, and emotional, yet they continued to act even when the odds were against them. They adapted quickly. That was unusual. Most species relied only on machines or careful planning. Humans relied on something else: creativity, courage, and stubbornness. "Perhaps," Vorel said finally, "we should test them, see what they can really do." Back on Earth, Lucas and Mia were running simulations. They had built a small prototype to track and possibly deflect the asteroid. It was made from parts salvaged from old satellites and experimental energy generators. It was far from perfect, but it was functional. "Lucas," Mia said, "we need a plan that can work with what we have. Not perfect machines, not advanced tech, just humans, some tools, and fast thinking." Lucas nodded. "I know. We can't rely on the coalition. We have to show them we are capable. That may convince them to help. We need to be ready if they intervene." He activated the simulation. The screen showed the asteroid approaching, faster than they had anticipated. The machine hummed softly. Wires crossed, panels flickered, and small sparks flew. "This could work," Lucas said. "If we can coordinate with the satellites, we can change its trajectory even slightly. It might be enough." Mia watched him closely. "And if we fail?" "We won't fail," Lucas said firmly. "We can't." Meanwhile, Vorel decided to make contact. A small message appeared in the lab's main screen. It was simple, almost like a drawing, an outline of their ship and a series of symbols that Lucas could barely understand. Mia stepped back. "Lucas, they're communicating. They're trying to talk to us." Lucas studied the symbols carefully. Slowly, he realized it was not a threat, it was a test. The aliens were observing, seeing how humans would respond. "We have to answer," he said. He quickly typed a response, using simple shapes and numbers, showing their tracking and deflection plan. The alien ship watched as Lucas sent the message. Vorel leaned forward, intrigued. Humans had never communicated like this before. They were clever, using limited tools to send precise information. Chiron muttered, "It is surprising, but still primitive." Vorel shook his head. "They are not primitive in spirit. They are clever, resourceful, and brave." Over the next several days, Lucas and Mia continued their work. They coordinated with small teams of engineers and scientists. They ran simulations, built prototypes, and tested energy deflectors. Every mistake became a lesson. Every failure was an opportunity to adapt. The aliens observed quietly. Voral watched humans argue over minor details, fix mistakes, and continue working without complaint. He had never seen a species so persistent and unafraid of failure. One evening, a critical problem occurred. The energy generator powering their deflection system overheated. Sparks flew and smoke filled the small lab. Lucas and Mia jumped back, coughing. "We need another solution," Lucas said quickly. "We can't let this stop us." Mia looked around. She grabbed wires and old battery cells. "We can redirect the power. It's risky, but it might work." Lucas nodded. "Do it. I trust you." Together, they rewired the generator. Sparks flew, machines hummed, and the small lab filled with the smell of electricity. Then slowly the system came back online. The simulation ran again. The asteroid's path shifted slightly. "We did it," Lucas whispered. Mia smiled faintly, exhausted but satisfied. In the alien ship, Voral's eyes widened. Humans were not just improvising, they were thinking in ways he had not predicted. Chiron looked on, puzzled. "They actually succeeded." "Yes," Voral said quietly. "And they did it with nothing but their minds, their courage, and their will to survive." As the days passed, communication between humans and aliens became more precise. The aliens provided minimal guidance, mostly observational. They did not interfere directly but allowed humans to lead the operation. Lucas felt a strange mix of fear and pride. He knew the asteroid was still dangerous. Any miscalculation could destroy cities, maybe the entire planet. But he also knew that humans were capable of extraordinary things when pushed to the limit. One morning, Lucas and Mia were running a final simulation before presenting it to Voral. The alien ship hovered silently above, observing. "We have to get this right," Lucas said. "Even a small error could be catastrophic." Mia nodded. "We've learned a lot in a few days." "Let's hope it's enough." Voral observed the humans closely. They were not perfect. They argued, made mistakes, and sometimes panicked, but they never gave up. They adapted instantly to unexpected problems. They worked together, trusting each other in ways that seemed chaotic but were effective. Chiron shook his head. "I still do not understand. Why are they so capable?" Voral's eyes were fixed on the earth below. "It is not technology," he said quietly. "It is something else. Something stronger than machines. Something human." The next day, Lucas and Mia received another signal from the alien ship. It was a simple symbol, almost like a nod of approval. The aliens had seen their work and were satisfied with the effort. They had not interfered, but they had acknowledged humans' ingenuity and courage. Lucas felt a surge of hope. "They noticed," he whispered. "They are watching us and they approve." Mia smiled. "I guess humans are more impressive than they thought." Lucas laughed softly. "I hope they realize just how much we can do. We may be small and fragile, but we never give up." The days grew shorter and the asteroid loomed closer. Lucas, Mia, and their small team continued working tirelessly. Every day brought new challenges, from limited materials to unpredictable machine behavior. But humans adapted quickly. They improvised solutions that no alien would have thought of, finding strength in teamwork and determination. Voral watched silently. The aliens had advanced technology, weapons capable of destroying planets, and precise calculations for navigation. Yet humans, with nothing but basic tools and quick thinking, were achieving results that even Voral had not expected. Chiron finally spoke, almost grudgingly. "They are remarkable." "Yes," Voral said, "they are human, and that makes all the difference." By the end of the week, Lucas and Mia had completed a fully functional prototype system for asteroid deflection. It was small, simple, and fragile compared to alien technology, but it worked. It relied on human ingenuity, adaptability, and teamwork. The alien ship sent another simple message, a symbol indicating readiness to observe the final test. Lucas and Mia prepared the system carefully, knowing that the next steps could decide the fate of Earth. Lucas looked at Mia. "We have done everything we can. Now we wait and hope the aliens continue to watch, and maybe help," Mia nodded. "They are already learning from us. Maybe that is enough for them to understand what humans can do." Voral observed the humans once more. He had seen determination, courage, and creativity. He had watched them solve impossible problems with nothing but their minds and willpower. He knew that the galaxy had underestimated humans, and slowly, quietly, he began to realize something important. Humans were not like other species. They were small and fragile, but they had a strength that no machine or weapon could match. A strength born from heart, courage, and the relentless will to survive. The asteroid loomed in the sky, a silent threat. But on Earth, humans were ready. They had prepared, improvised, and learned. And somewhere above, aliens watched, slowly beginning to understand the power that lay hidden in the simplest, most fragile species in the galaxy. Lucas whispered softly, looking at the glowing red dot of the approaching asteroid. "We are ready. We will do this. We cannot fail." And above them, Voral said quietly, almost to himself, "Perhaps we have been wrong to underestimate them all along." The stage was set. Humans and aliens stood on the edge of an impossible challenge. The asteroid approached. Time was running out. But one thing was clear. Humans had shown their courage, ingenuity, and heart, and that was something no advanced civilization could ignore. The asteroid was closer now. It glowed faintly in the sky, a cold, gray rock moving faster than anything humans had ever seen. Lucas Hayes stood on the roof of the lab, staring at it. He felt the weight of every life on Earth pressing down on him. The system they had built to deflect it was complete, but the real test was about to begin. Mia Carter arrived, carrying fresh data prints. "Lucas, the asteroid is splitting," she said quickly. "There are now two fragments, each almost as large as the first one. If either hits a city, millions could die." Lucas frowned. "We knew the risk, but two fragments, that makes everything harder." Mia shook her head. "We need another plan. Our current system can handle one asteroid. Two, it may not be enough." Lucas took a deep breath. "Then we have to adapt. That's what humans do." High above in the alien ship, Voral observed the situation. He had not expected this. Humans had built a functional system, but the asteroid splitting was an unpredictable event. Most species would panic. Most would wait for the aliens to intervene. But humans were different. Chiron looked at him nervously. "They cannot handle this. They are not advanced enough." Voral's eyes narrowed. "Watch." Back on Earth, Lucas gathered his small team of engineers. "The asteroid has split. We have to divide our efforts. One fragment goes north, the other south. We need to control them both." Mia looked at the screens showing the paths of the two fragments. "It's impossible with what we have. The energy generators aren't enough for both." Lucas shook his head. "We'll make it enough. We have to. Humans never stop finding a way." The team worked quickly. They rewired generators, redirected power, and connected old satellites in ways they had never planned. Every mistake forced them to adapt. Every failure taught them something new. Sparks flew, machines hummed and groaned, and wires crisscrossed the lab like a web. Voral watched silently. The humans were improvising faster than any alien team would have. They did not wait for perfect conditions. They acted immediately, using what they had. Chiron frowned. "It is chaotic. How can they think so fast under pressure?" Voral leaned forward. "Because they must. That is the human way. Pressure brings out their best, not their worst." Outside, people on the streets noticed a strange glow in the sky. It was not the asteroid itself, but the signals and energy being projected by the human machines. No one understood exactly what was happening, but the lights were constant and intense. Inside the lab, Lucas coordinated every action. He gave orders quickly, watched every screen, and adapted as the machines gave feedback. Mia ran from console to console, adjusting settings, checking connections, and making decisions on the fly. "This is it," Lucas said. "We have one chance for each fragment. Focus. Be precise. Be ready to change anything at a moment's notice." The first fragment approached a major city. The team activated the deflection system. Energy beams shot from the generators, connecting to satellites and devices across the city. Sparks flew, machines hummed, and the lights of the city reflected the intense work inside the lab. Mia shouted, "The northern fragment is shifting, it's working." Lucas nodded, sweat dripping from his forehead. "Keep it steady, don't stop. Adjust the energy by 0.7 degrees. The asteroid moved slightly. It was enough. The northern fragment began to change its path, moving away from the city. The team let out a small cheer, but there was no time to celebrate. "The southern fragment," Lucas said. "We need to redirect all remaining power to it." Mia looked nervous. "It's massive. Are you sure?" Lucas clenched his fists. "We have no choice. Humans never give up." They redirected power, rerouted satellites, and adjusted every variable in real time. Sparks flew, machines groaned, alarms rang, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, the southern fragment began to shift. Outside, people felt a strange wind as the energy beams passed over the city. Lights flickered, but nothing fell. The asteroid was moving just as Lucas predicted. Voral watched with interest. Humans were not just surviving. They were controlling forces far beyond their size and technology. Their decisions were imperfect but effective. Chiron muttered, "It cannot work. They are too weak." Voral shook his head. "Watch closely. Humans do not need strength to succeed. They use their minds, their courage, and their will. That is why they survive when others fail." Back in the lab, Lucas and Mia continued their work, adjusting settings, rerouting energy, and guiding the asteroid fragments. Hours passed, each second tense and critical. The team worked in silence, focused, and completely absorbed. Finally, the fragments were on safe paths. The northern fragment moved past the city safely, and the southern fragment was redirected into open space. The city and millions of lives were saved. Mia slumped into her chair, exhausted. "We did it, we actually did it." Lucas wiped sweat from his face and smiled faintly. "Humans never stop. We may be small, but we never give up. That is our strength." Voral observed quietly. He had expected failure, chaos, and panic. Instead, he had seen coordination, courage, and creativity. Humans had faced impossible odds with nothing but determination and ingenuity. Chiron shook his head. "It is incredible. They actually succeeded." Voral nodded slowly. "They are not like other species. They are different. They are small, fragile, and reckless. But they are brave, clever, and unstoppable when they refuse to quit." After the fragments passed safely, the humans began repairing and checking their systems. Sparks still flew from overloaded generators, and machines hummed unevenly, but the team worked without complaint. Every small success had been earned through effort, teamwork, and human determination. Mia looked at Lucas. "Do you think the aliens understand what we just did?" Lucas nodded. "I think they are beginning to. We may be small and simple, but humans have something no machine or weapon can replicate: courage, creativity, and the will to survive." The alien ship hovered silently above, watching. Voral made notes in his recorder, documenting every action, every decision, and every small improvisation. He had expected humans to panic, to fail, to be outmatched, but they had not. Chiron asked quietly, "Do you think they will survive the next challenge?" Voral smiled faintly. "They will. They may not be perfect. They may fail in some ways, but humans never give up. And that makes them stronger than any machine, stronger than any weapon." Meanwhile, on Earth, news of the strange lights in the sky spread quickly. People whispered about alien ships, about strange energy in the atmosphere, and about the glowing path of the asteroid fragments. Governments still refused to believe the full story, but citizens began to talk. Humans had faced death in the sky and survived. Lucas and Mia continued monitoring the asteroid. They knew it was only the beginning. There were more fragments, more risks, and more dangers ahead. But they also knew something important. Humans could face impossible odds and adapt in ways no one else could. Vorel observed quietly. He had seen advanced alien species fail at smaller tasks, relying entirely on technology and calculations. But humans succeeded with improvisation, courage, and teamwork. He began to understand that the galaxy had underestimated them. Chiron muttered, "They are remarkable but fragile. They could be destroyed so easily." Vorel nodded. "Yes, but their strength is not in size or technology. It is in heart, mind, and spirit. That is why they survive." Lucas looked at the monitors, checking the paths of the asteroid fragments. "We need to prepare for anything else," he said. "Humans have survived this, but there could be more challenges." Mia nodded. "We'll be ready. We always are." The alien ship continued to hover, observing silently. Vorel knew that humans had done something extraordinary. They had faced a near-impossible threat with nothing but determination, courage, and quick thinking, and the galaxy would have to take notice. As the night fell over the city, Lucas and Mia finally took a short rest. Sparks still flew from some of the equipment, but the immediate danger had passed. They had saved millions of lives. And above them, aliens watched and recorded every detail, slowly beginning to understand that humans were not ordinary. Vorel whispered quietly, almost to himself, "Perhaps humans are stronger than anyone has ever imagined." And on Earth, humans continued their work, unaware that they had already begun to change the way the galaxy viewed them. Their courage, creativity, and persistence had proven that even the smallest species could survive and achieve the impossible. Lucas looked at Mia and smiled faintly. "We did it, but this is only the beginning," Mia nodded. "Yes, and we'll keep going. Humans never stop." Outside, the stars shone brightly and the asteroid fragments moved safely past Earth. Inside the lab, humans prepared for the next challenge, unaware that their actions were already inspiring awe in the most advanced civilizations of the galaxy. And above them, Vorel watched, quietly taking notes, realizing that humans were unlike any species he had ever encountered. They were small, fragile, and unpredictable, but they were also extraordinary. The stage was set for the next test. The asteroid threat had revealed human courage and ingenuity, but greater challenges were coming, and the aliens above would soon see that the strength of humans was more than just survival. It was something far greater, a force the galaxy had never seen before. The day after the asteroid fragments passed safely, Lucas Hayes and Mia Carter barely slept. Their lab smelled of burnt wires and hot metal, and machines hummed softly as they cooled down. Outside, the city was calm, but Lucas knew the danger had not completely passed. There were still smaller fragments approaching, and every day brought a new challenge. "Lucas," Mia said quietly, "we need to repair the generators. Some of them are damaged from yesterday." Lucas nodded. "I know, let's start now. Every second counts." They worked quickly, checking every connection, replacing broken parts, and testing energy outputs. Sparks flew from some generators and wires crossed in messy patterns, but Lucas and Mia moved with confidence. They had learned to adapt. Every mistake from the previous days was now a lesson, guiding their actions. Meanwhile, the alien ship hovered silently above. Vorel observed the humans closely. He had expected panic, mistakes, and chaos, but instead he saw focus, teamwork, and calm determination. Humans did not wait for orders. They acted. They adapted. They created solutions where none seemed possible. Chiron, the alien second-in-command, shook his head. "I still do not understand them. They are weak, fragile, but somehow unstoppable." Vorel nodded. "It is not strength or size that makes them remarkable. It is their mind, their courage, and their will. Watch and learn." Back on Earth, Lucas gathered his team. "We've repaired the generators. Now we need to plan for the remaining fragments. There are at least 3 more that could hit major areas. We must be ready. Mia pointed at the screens. The southern fragment's path is unpredictable. If we miscalculate, it could hit the coast. People could die. Lucas clenched his fists. Then we calculate better, we adapt faster. That is what humans do. We survive no matter what. The team split into groups, each responsible for different tasks. Some checked energy conduits, others monitored satellites, and a few worked on backup systems. Every member of the team knew their role, but flexibility was key. If a problem arose, anyone could adapt and take action. Hours passed. Sweat dripped from foreheads. Fingers moved quickly over keyboards and control panels. Sparks and small alarms were constant, but the team worked as one. They were not perfect, but they were determined. High above, Voral studied them with quiet fascination. Most species would have failed under this pressure. Humans thrived. They improvised, collaborated, and adapted without hesitation. Even mistakes became part of the plan. Each failure taught them how to act faster the next time. Chiron muttered, "They are learning from failure. That is impossible." Voral shook his head. "Not impossible, human." Suddenly, a warning flashed on the screens. One of the asteroid fragments had changed direction unexpectedly. It was moving faster than predicted, heading toward a major city. Lucas's eyes widened. "It's moving too fast. We have seconds to react." Mia grabbed his arm. "We can do this. We have to." The team moved immediately. Generators were redirected. Energy beams focused. Satellites were repositioned. Every human acted with precision and speed, improvising where necessary. Sparks flew as connections overloaded and alarms blared, but they did not stop. Voral observed silently. Humans were not just following instructions, they were creating solutions in real time. Every action was a combination of instinct, knowledge, and courage. The alien team had never seen anything like it. Chiron whispered, "They could fail at any second. This is madness." Voral's eyes were fixed on the humans. "No, they may fail in some ways, but their determination, that is what makes them succeed." The energy beams connected to the fragment. Lucas adjusted the controls, calculating angles in his head. Mia coordinated the satellite grid, making rapid changes. The fragment's path shifted slightly. "Keep adjusting," Lucas shouted. "Small changes, don't stop." Slowly the fragment moved away from the city. The tension in the lab was unbearable, but the humans did not panic. They worked faster, smarter, and together. Finally, the fragment moved safely past the city. A cheer went up in the lab, but it was quiet, controlled. There was still more work to do. The next fragments arrived in rapid succession. Each presented a new challenge. One fragment moved unpredictably, another split into smaller pieces, and the last approached at an unusual angle. Lucas and Mia directed the team with calm authority. "Adapt, use what you have, keep adjusting." The humans moved with remarkable speed. Improvised tools became life-saving devices. Generators, wires, and satellites, all patched together, worked in perfect synchronization. Every mistake was corrected instantly, every problem solved creatively. Voral watched in awe. Humans were small and fragile, but their ability to adapt, think, and act under pressure was unmatched. They had no advanced weapons, no massive ships, and no perfect technology. Yet they controlled forces far greater than themselves. Chiron asked quietly, "How can such a weak species succeed where others would fail?" Voral's eyes were fixed on the humans. "It is not weakness that matters. It is the courage to try, the ability to adapt, and the refusal to give up. That is human." After hours of intense work, the final fragment passed safely. The city was unharmed and millions of lives were saved. Lucas, Mia, and their team slumped into chairs, exhausted but alive. Mia smiled faintly. "We did it, all of it." Lucas wiped sweat from his face. "Yes, we never stopped, we never gave up. That is what humans do." Voral made notes in his recorder. He had expected failure. He had expected chaos. but humans had exceeded every expectation. They were not just survivors, they were problem solvers, innovators, and brave beyond measure. Chiron shook his head. They are incredible, Voral nodded. They are human, and that is more powerful than any machine, any weapon, any advanced technology. Their courage and creativity are unmatched. The humans began checking their systems, repairing machines, and ensuring everything was stable. Even exhausted, they worked together. There was no leader telling them what to do. They acted as one, each person contributing to the safety of millions. Outside, the city began to notice. Lights returned to normal. People whispered about what had happened, about the strange energy in the sky, and about the incredible survival of the city. Government still refused to accept the truth fully, but citizens knew. Humans had faced impossible odds and survived. Voral observed quietly. He had seen advanced civilizations fail at tasks far smaller than this. Humans had succeeded with nothing but determination, courage, and ingenuity. The galaxy had underestimated them, and now Voral knew that mistake could be catastrophic for anyone who doubted them. Chiron asked quietly, "Do you think the humans realize how extraordinary they are?" Voral smiled faintly. They may not fully understand it themselves, but their actions speak louder than words. Humans are remarkable not because they know it, but because they act with courage and intelligence regardless. Lucas looked at the monitors, checking the paths of the asteroid fragments one last time. "We have done everything we can. Now we wait, but we are ready for anything else." Mia nodded. "Yes, we'll keep going. Humans never stop." High above, the alien ship continued to watch. Voral made final notes in his recorder. He had seen humans succeed in ways no alien technology could replicate. They had faced death in the sky and survived through courage, creativity, and teamwork. The day ended with a quiet calm. The immediate danger had passed. Earth was safe for now. Lucas and Mia allowed themselves a brief moment of rest, sitting in the lab as the city lights twinkled below. Lucas whispered softly, "We survived, but this is only the beginning. Humans can do more than anyone knows." Mia smiled faintly. "Yes. And we will. Humans always do." Voral observed silently from above. He had seen the strength of humanity. They were small, fragile, and often reckless, yet unstoppable when faced with impossible odds. He realized that the galaxy had misjudged them. Humans were not just survivors, they were something far greater. Chiron muttered, "It is amazing. How can such a weak species be so strong?" Voral looked down at Earth. "Because their strength is not in size, not in technology, and not in weapons. It is in heart, mind, and spirit. That is why humans survive. That is why humans are extraordinary." And on Earth, Lucas, Mia, and their team prepared for the next days, unaware that their courage, creativity, and persistence were beginning to change the way the galaxy viewed them. They were ordinary humans doing extraordinary things, and the aliens above could not stop noticing. The stage was set for the final part. Earth had survived, but humans' true greatness was only beginning to be understood. And above, Voral continued to watch, quietly recording every moment, slowly realizing that humans might be the most remarkable species he had ever seen. The city was quiet now. The danger of the asteroid had passed, and people were beginning to go about their normal lives. But Lucas Hayes knew that the work was not over. The fragments had been redirected, but the threat of space itself was still unpredictable. The lessons from the last days could not be forgotten. Mia Carter sat beside him, exhausted but alert. "Lucas," she said softly, "we've done everything we can for now. Maybe we can rest for a while." Lucas shook his head. "Rest can wait. There's still more to understand. The aliens are watching. They've seen what humans can do, but I think they don't fully realize it yet." Mia nodded. "Maybe it's not about them realizing. Maybe it's about them learning." High above, the alien ship continued to hover silently, its gray surface reflecting the sunlight. Voral observed quietly. He had spent days watching humans, studying their actions, recording their methods. Each time he thought he understood them, they surprised him. Their strength was not in technology, weapons, or numbers. It was in something else entirely. Chiron, standing beside him, still seemed frustrated. They are small, fragile, they could be wiped out with one strike. Why do you care so much? Voral shook his head. Because they are human, and humans are more than their size or strength. They adapt, they create. They survive against impossible odds. That is rare. That is exceptional. Meanwhile, on Earth, Lucas and Mia were preparing a report of their findings and experiences. They wanted the alien observers to understand humans better. They carefully detailed how every fragment was redirected, every problem solved, and every improvisation made. Lucas looked at Mia. We have to show them the real value of humans, not just that we can survive, but why we survive. It's not luck, it's courage, it's teamwork. It's creativity, and we never give up, Mia nodded. Let's make sure they see it. The alien ship sent a small signal, simple and clear. Voral wanted to test them further to see how humans would respond without interference. He had seen their courage and creativity in action, but he wanted to see if they could inspire other humans to act, to work as one across the planet. Lucas understood immediately. They want to see how humans lead themselves, he said. Then we have to organize globally. For the next several days, humans across the world worked together like never before. Scientists, engineers, and citizens collaborated to monitor space, repair equipment, and improve the asteroid deflection system. Every failure became a lesson. Every new idea was tested and refined. Mia coordinated efforts with Lucas from the lab, communicating with teams across continents. We have to be ready for anything. Any small fragment, any new threat, humans must respond immediately. Lucas agreed. We've shown courage before. Now we show the galaxy what humans can do when they unite. High above, Voral observed these developments. He was impressed. Humans were not only solving immediate problems, they were improving their systems, teaching each other, and creating networks of cooperation that even advanced species might envy. Chiron muttered, "They are inspiring. How can a species so fragile influence so many others?" Voral's eyes were thoughtful, because humans care. They do not act for power or domination. They act for life, for others, and for the chance to survive together. That is why they are strong. Back on Earth, Lucas and Mia guided the final tests of their system. Satellites were aligned, generators were synchronized, and communication networks were tested. The asteroid fragments were still monitored, but now the humans had systems and strategies ready for any situation. "This is it," Lucas said. "We are prepared. Not just for today, but for tomorrow. Humans will survive anything because we refuse to stop." Mia smiled. "And they'll see that too." Voral recorded every action silently. He had seen humans under pressure, but this was different. Humans were not reacting only to immediate danger. They were thinking ahead, planning, organizing, and teaching. Their courage was not just in surviving, it was in building systems that would allow survival for everyone. Chiron finally said quietly, I think I understand. Humans are remarkable because they act together, even without orders, even when the odds are impossible. They are not strong in the way we are, but they are unstoppable in a way we cannot predict." Voral nodded. "Exactly. That is why they survive. That is why they matter. And that is why no one should ever underestimate them." The final asteroid fragment approached Earth, smaller than the previous ones but moving unpredictably. Lucas and Mia coordinated their team with calm precision. The humans directed energy beams, adjusted satellites, and monitored the fragment's path in real time. The fragment wobbled and split into two smaller pieces, threatening separate regions. Lucas clenched his fists. "Mia, split the power. Focus on both. We can handle this." Mia nodded. "All teams are ready. We're doing it." Humans worked with speed and creativity. One group adjusted generators, another modified satellites, and another rerouted energy. Every improvisation mattered. Sparks flew, machines groaned, alarms rang, but no one panicked. Vorel watched silently. Humans were no longer just surviving. They were controlling forces far beyond their size. Every action was intelligent, creative, and brave. Their mistakes were corrected instantly, and their failures became tools for success. Chiron whispered, they are amazing. No species I have ever seen could do this without perfect technology. Vorel's eyes were fixed on the humans. It is not technology that makes them remarkable. It is heart, courage, and will. That is human. The final fragments were redirected safely. The skies cleared. Cities were unharmed. Millions of lives were saved. Humans had not only survived, they had demonstrated leadership, ingenuity, and strength that impressed even the most advanced species in the galaxy. Back in the lab, Lucas and Mia allowed themselves a brief moment of relief. "We did it," Mia said softly. "All of it. We saved our planet." Lucas smiled faintly. "Yes, but more than that, we showed the galaxy what humans can do. Not because we are perfect, but because we never stop trying." Vorel recorded his final notes. He had expected humans to be chaotic, weak, and easily defeated. Instead, they had surpassed every expectation. They had faced death, adapted to impossible challenges, and inspired themselves to act as one. Chiron looked at him, awed. "They are extraordinary. I think the galaxy will remember this species." Vorel nodded. "They are more than extraordinary. Humans are remarkable because they survive, improve, and inspire. They are a species unlike any other, and that is why no one should ever underestimate them." On Earth, the people began rebuilding and improving. Governments took notice, citizens celebrated, and scientists shared knowledge across borders. Humans had faced a deadly threat and survived, but more importantly, they had done so together, showing courage, ingenuity, and heart. Lucas and Mia watched the skies from the lab. The alien ship had not left. It hovered quietly, recording and observing. Humans no longer feared it. Instead, they understood that the galaxy had begun to notice them. Lucas whispered, "We have shown them what humans can do. They may not understand everything yet, but they will. And soon the galaxy will know." Mia smiled. "Yes, and they'll see that humans are more than their machines or weapons. We survive because we care, because we create, and because we refuse to stop." Vorel observed quietly from above. He had seen countless species in the galaxy. Some were powerful, some were advanced, some were dangerous, but humans were different. They were small, fragile, and unpredictable, but unstoppable when they acted together, when they adapted, and when they refused to give up. Chiron looked thoughtful. "They are unique. No one could have predicted this." Vorel's eyes were steady. "They are human, and that is the greatest strength of all." For the first time, humans and aliens shared a quiet understanding. The humans had survived unimaginable danger, not with the greatest technology or power, but with courage, ingenuity, teamwork, and heart. The aliens had witnessed something rare, a species whose strength came not from machines, but from spirit. And slowly, quietly, the galaxy began to understand what humans had always known. When humans work together, when they refuse to give up, and when they face the impossible, they can achieve greatness far beyond what anyone expects. Lucas looked at Mia. "The galaxy has seen us. Now it knows. Humans are not just survivors, we are something more." Mia nodded. "Yes, and we will continue to show it, always." High above, Vorel recorded his final notes. Humans were unlike any species he had ever seen. They were not the strongest, the fastest, or the most advanced, but they were brave, clever, and persistent. They were capable of facing the impossible and winning, not because of power, but because of heart. Chiron whispered almost to himself, "They are extraordinary. The galaxy will never forget them." The asteroid threat had passed, cities were safe, lives were saved. And humans had shown the galaxy a lesson that would never be forgotten. No matter the odds, no matter the danger, no matter how small or fragile they seemed, humans could rise above anything. Lucas and Mia stood together, looking at the stars. The alien ship hovered quietly, recording and learning. The galaxy had seen humanity's courage, creativity, and persistence. And slowly, quietly, Voral realized that humans were not to be underestimated. Humans were extraordinary. And the galaxy had only just begun to understand why.